Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. Marty, if you would, could you trim that fold back just a bit? Thank you kindly, my friend. Well, you want fries with that too, Bugs? We start today's show talking about it's happened again. I will be the first to admit that as an old guy, I have little to no interest in rap. Growing up as a kid, playing in garage bands, marching bands, concert band, the whole nine. Very early on, through some awesome teachers and some wonderful parents, I gained an affinity and an appreciation for melody, harmony, instrumentation, orchestration, etc., etc. So as a result, my appreciation for an art form that has pretty much reduced music to the lowest common denominator, beat and lyrics, is real small. It's not my thing. And yes, I'm the one that for years has preached everything is not for everybody. And that's okay. If, and I've used this example more than once, if old blue-haired white women decide they want to have a group, then have at it. That's not for me. That ain't my thing. Everything is not for everybody. Young people, on the other hand, they love it. But there's a disturbing trend in all of this. Young rappers, particularly African Americans, killing one another after, quote, beefing. The latest from Bogalusa, Louisiana, Javorius Scott, just 24 years of age. His rap name was Jay the Youngin. He was known, and I'm getting this from WAFB's website, the CBS affiliate in Baton Rouge, had popular songs like 23 Island, Catch Me in Traffic, and Muddy Situation. And again, I will be the first to acknowledge I know absolutely nothing about these songs, nothing at all. But in a double shooting in Bogalusa, this 24-year-old is now dead. For someone like myself who does not actively listen to rap, my only exposure is if I go to someone's house that has young people in the household and I hear it playing. Or I'll go to a store, and of course in the parking lot, particularly if it's a neighborhood or corner store, and there's some young person in the car and it's blaring, it's rattling the car, the windows in the store, the bones in your body and everything else, and you hear the lyrics, you very quickly figure out it can't be good for young people to be constantly bombarded by the negative messages that so much of rap is made up of. It's not all that hard to figure out that what you view constantly, listen to constantly, talk about constantly, inevitably becomes a part of you. So if you spend pretty much the overwhelming majority of your waking hours disrespecting women, talking about carrying out acts of violence, disrespecting authority, it only stands to reason that at some point your thinking will gravitate in that direction. If you have not been, in recent memory, into the hood, and black folk, y'all will back me up on this, if you haven't been to the hood recently to hear what our young people are listening to, you have no clue what's going on. There are things being broadcast out there that put our young people in the frame of mind that it doesn't make sense to even attempt to do things the right way. It doesn't make sense to respect your life, their life, or anybody else's life for that matter. I know nothing about this young man, nothing at all, nor do I know anything about his music. But his popularity says that at 24 years of age, had he lived, he would at least have the potential to do some great things. And the fact of the matter is, at 24 years of age, God in his infinite wisdom knew what he was doing when he designed the family. It goes against the natural order of things for a parent to have to bury a child. Our children are supposed to bury us. We're not supposed to bury our children. And at the end of the day, to not acknowledge that we have reached crisis proportions in the community of color is not only a disservice to the community of color, it's insulting. You know, it occurred to me, and I was trying to think back in recent memory, and I drew a complete blank. When is the last time you remember Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Benjamin Crump, Barack Obama? When's the last time you remember any black high-profile individual coming out and strongly denouncing and encouraging our young black brothers to stop killing one another. We hear them talk about guns all the time. We hear them talk about racism all the time. We hear them talk about this, that, and the other. But when is the last time you've heard one of them step up and encourage these young black men to stop killing one another? If you can't tell me right off the top of your head, well, Clarence, I remember when such and such happened, so-and-so came out in no uncertain terms and denounced it. If you can't name it, then there's the problem. There's the problem. Listen, y'all. Uncle Daddy, federal government, is not going to ride to the rescue on some shiny white steed and fix this problem in the black community. This is our problem of our making. And we, collectively, have to fix it. End of discussion. It should be painfully obvious by now that the federal government, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all these folks are not interested in fixing the problem. I mean, you know, they are Democrats and they understand full well that as long as there's a crisis, we get to lord over it. But in the meantime, our young black brothers and sisters, for that matter, are dying every single day. The latest, 24 years of age, gone entirely too soon. And what is most appalling to me is that the minute, no, let me revise that. The second it happens and somebody white is involved, well, we all know what the response is going to be. The minute somebody is involved in the killing of a black person that's not a black person, get ready for all hell to break loose. Why is that? Are these lives not as precious because of the color of the skin of the perpetrator? Are these lives not as valuable as any other? That's rhetorical. You don't have to answer it. We all know the answer already. And yet, our leadership continues to fail us. Now, let's understand something here, y'all. It's one thing to say, well, our leaders need to do a better job. But if we started at the bottom instead of looking to the top, we could fix it ourselves. If you can't raise them, damn it, don't have them. Yeah, I said it. If you can't raise them, don't have them. Because it is patently unfair and insulting for you to bring them here and then expect me to pay for their 3 hots and a cot and somebody to guard over them when it's your child that you didn't raise the right way. Just an observation, y'all. Just an observation. First break of today's show. We'll get it done. Come back and talk more with you right where we've got it on today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-50. Confident on and off-road performance. An intelligently designed utility inside and out.
The all-new Mazda CX-50 has arrived and is on sale right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. Before we go any further, I need to take a point of personal privilege and send a shout out to a wonderful group of people. We started today's show talking about crime in Louisiana, and recently, and the folks that live there will understand the spirit that this is given when I say the sleepy bedroom town of St. Francisville in West Feliciana Parish. Wonderful city. Know some absolutely salt-of-the-earth people that live there. As a matter of fact, a very dear friend of mine, Hollis Milton, is the superintendent of schools for West Baton Rouge and their award-winning school system there. But I digress. Recently, couple of young individuals from Woodville, Mississippi, found themselves in a neighborhood in St. Francisville. A beef erupted between the two, and they then engaged in a running gun battle in this neighborhood. According to the West Feliciana Parish Sheriff's Office, multiple stray bullets struck homes and an unoccupied car as these two individuals, ages 25 and 27, engaged in a running shootout. The sheriff says both men were arrested, identified as 25-year-old Darian Stein and 27-year-old DeAndre Tolliver. What caught my eye in this story is the fact that the sheriff said the following, quote, "I'm grateful to the residents who came forward and shared information that help us put these criminals behind bars. Both men have a history of weapons and narcotics arrests." You cannot expect, y'all, to have a decent quality of life and live someplace safe and only leave it up to law enforcement. Law enforcement, in case you haven't figured out just yet, is reactionary. Something happens, we call them, they show up, solve the problem. But the fact of the matter is, unless we assist them, you can pretty much forget about the quality of life in your neighborhood. So big time, tip of the hat to the folks in St. Francisville that knew something and decided to step up and say something. Now, because of their efforts, there are 2 less individuals on our streets that have clearly shown they have no regard whatsoever for human life, for property, for safety, for anything. We could use a lot more folks like them. Just saying. Meanwhile, August 1st is, just as you well know, around the corner. And I guess on one hand, some of it is needed. On the other hand, it could well be that, you know how when the boss shows up unexpectedly at work and all of a sudden everybody starts doing stuff, make it look like they're busy. You've been there and done that. You've been there and done that because you want to send the message that I'm earning my money. Well, August 1st, courtesy of the Louisiana legislature and Governor John Bel Edwards, 776 new laws will go into effect. You heard me right. Now listen, y'all. I've been a Louisiana boy long enough to know, yes, we have our fair share of problems. Some would say, Clarence, we have more than our fair share of problems in Louisiana. I will leave to you to decide which of the 2 statements bears the most truth. We have our share of problems, or we have more than our fair share of problems. But there is a bothersome trend with all of this. It's like every single year, there's 400 and some odd, 500 and some odd, 600 and some odd, and in the case of the most recently completed legislative session, 776 new laws. Now, granted, some of them deal with additional penalties for existing crimes. For example, you've heard recently about the big upsurge in thefts of catalytic converters. It's become a hot deal now because of the metals that are involved, because of the state of the economy. because of, well, I don't see how you could blame COVID for it, but you never know. We blamed it for just about everything else. There's been this explosion of individuals stealing catalytic converters. So one of the new laws that will kick in on August 1st, Act 127, by the way, now makes stealing a catalytic converter a crime in and of itself. There are also stipulations in place now where catalytic converters have to have a registration number so that the sales of these appliances, for lack of a better word, can be tracked and traced. Once again, when you fail to govern yourself, you consent to be governed. Now, again, y'all, I understand we got our fair share of problems in Louisiana. Just about any place else on the planet does. But in 1 year, 776 new laws. How is an individual that has an interest in being law-abiding, how is that person supposed to stay abreast of what is or is not legal? Sadly, the old saying still holds true. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So that being said, you might want to do a little bit of a refresher. Go to, get your butt in the library, as Marty just said. Do a little research. Find out what these new laws are. I mean, 776 of them. Somewhere down the line, 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 of them might relate to you and your everyday activities. Now, let me say for the record, I know for a fact everybody that watches this show, they're all law-abiding, decent Americans. They're wonderful Louisianians. But now, I can't speak for your friends, can't speak for your relatives, can't speak for your coworkers. You might be the one that would save them a whole lot of money, misery, and heartache. Say, bruh, you know that's illegal now. What? Yeah. They just passed a law in the recent session, and Governor John Bel Edwards signed it into law. It's a fairly safe bet that you will know someone that falls within the purview of these 776 new laws. I would like to think there's no way we needed all these laws. If at this stage of the game, we find ourselves in one legislative session needing close to 800 new laws, we got a serious problem, y'all. And again, I understand there are those out there, legislators, that feel as though we got to do something to make them think we're earning our money. But 776 new laws? Just an observation, y'all. Word to the wise. Find out what these new laws are about so that you don't find yourself in the uncomfortable position of saying, well, I had no idea that was against the law. Because remember, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. As we were coming on air. Yet another example of Democrats and words. We'll talk about that when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, one of the things that stands out in very stark contrast regarding recent trends in America would have to include, in any rational or reasonable discussion, it would have to include the English language and definitions. We've seen in recent memory Democrats / liberals / progressives attempt to redefine the English language. Things that everybody in the entire nation, if not the world, has agreed on forever. Now, all of a sudden, they've come up with new definitions for the words. I mean, most recently, we witnessed a woman in her confirmation hearing for a seat on the highest court in the land, readily tell the entire world she can't define what a woman is. You've seen with the whole transgender everything, them change definitions to pursue an agenda. Just about all of America knew this week's numbers on the economy were going to point to an ugly scenario. We all know it. We've been living it. Ray Charles could see this one coming. Stevie Wonder could have given us this forecast. It's not all that hard to see. As a matter of fact, for the last right at 3/4 of a century, for the last 70 years, we've all pretty much agreed 2 quarters, 6 months of negative economic growth means recession. For 70 years, y'all, if the government found itself with 2 straight quarters, 6 straight months of the economy showing negative growth, it's a recession. So when the numbers came out today showing negative growth for the 2nd straight quarter, what did the White House and the Democrats do? You already know the answer. They changed the definition. Now, you're going to hear from the White House and the mainstream media that, well, these circumstances are different. And the rules that applied over the last 70 years, they don't really apply right now. Even though inflation's at a 40-year high, even though gas prices are ravaging the wallets of our fellow Americans, even though all these things are happening, you gonna believe us or your lying eyes or your lying wallet? Which one are you gonna believe? And again, the mainstream media is marching lockstep right along with them. So a reasonably, just reasonably, not highly, not probably, a reasonably intelligent person would have to ask, why are you changing the definition now? Remember when Donald J. Trump was president and there was 1 quarter of negative economic growth, due largely to the fact that state governments forced everybody home from work. And what was their rallying cry then? Oh, he's going to put us in recession. Oh, we're in a recession. After 1 quarter of negative growth. Now we've seen 2 consecutive quarters, and they want to change the definition. You can't make this stuff up. Now, maybe, just maybe, as we watch the mainstream media pick up the talking points and carry water for the Democrats, now we're starting to see how Americans are looking at this. Recent poll on Americans and the media by Gallup polling, no less. Only 16% of our fellow Americans say they have, quote, a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in newspapers. 16%. Oh, and did I mention when it comes to TV news, the numbers are even worse. 11% of our fellow Americans say they have a great deal of confidence in TV news. Walter Cronkite has got to be rolling over in his grave. 11%, y'all. It goes to show you just how quickly things happen. I am old enough to remember where didn't matter what happened during the day, didn't matter what happened in your personal life. At the end of the day, you knew, if nothing else, you could trust what the media was telling you. If nothing else, they simply gave you the facts and allowed you to come to your own conclusion. Now, in one lifetime, the numbers are at 11%, y'all. That should tell you something. And of course now, you would think after watching this implosion of support and trust from the people they're supposed to serve, you would think they would immediately reverse course and try to do better. Not these folk. No sub, buddy. Not these folk. Matter of fact, not only have they not reversed course, they're now doubling down. They will tell you in a heartbeat. Well, the problem is how dumb Americans have become. Of course, that is taking a page out of the liberal playbook, where you never take responsibility for anything. It's always somebody else's fault. And push comes to shove, just double down. If you say it loud enough and long enough, sure enough, sooner or later, people will believe it. 11%, y'all. As disheartening as that is to me as an American, the only thing that begins to approach that is the fact that the highest legislative body in America, Congress, is even lower. 7% of our fellow Americans. Now, you can make the argument, as some have, that the Founding Fathers designed the system this way, meaning we don't want it to be easy for one group to get in power and then just run roughshod over everybody, pursuing whatever their agenda happens to be. We want them to have safeguards in place where untold amounts of damage can't be done to America, the things we stand for, and the principles we abide by. That was done on purpose. But you have to ask yourself, how is it that for all these years, so many of us believed in the people we elected to represent us and the system that they are a part of? How did we end up at 7% approval for the highest legislative body in the country? Sadly, the media, Congress, they're not alone. Just look at the White House. New numbers out. If you thought Joe Biden's numbers couldn't get any worse, wrong answer. Final break of today's show. We'll come back and talk about that when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Question. What type of individual are you? Meaning, Marty, when somebody says, Marty, I got good news and I got bad news, what news typically do you want first? Bad news. That's my brother of a different color from another mother. I always want to end on a high note, so give me the bad news first. Let me digest it, then give me the good news, and let's see if we can figure out a way to use the good news to fix the bad news. I cannot begin to imagine what it must be like to be a member of the Biden-Harris administration. When someone walks through the door and says, I got some news. Based on past experience, the old BPE factor, you just automatically assume it's bad news. I mean, everything that's happened, bad news. COVID, bad news. Monkeypox, bad news. Inflation, bad news. Southern border, bad news. Afghanistan withdrawal, bad news. War in Ukraine, bad news. Crime in major cities, bad news. Supply chain crisis, bad news. Southern border, bad news. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Depending on who you ask. Now, it's bad news, buddy, any way you cut it. So, this week, when CNN, LOL, revealed the results of their recent poll asking likely Democrat voters, who would you like to see run in 2024? You already knew it was going to be bad news. Now, keep in mind, this is a CNN poll, okay? We're going to piggyback this one with the Gallup poll. But I figured, it is CNN. We all know how liberal they lean. We all know how they will whitewash stuff in an effort to prop up the Democrat agenda. So if their poll is bad news, then that pretty much tells you everything you need to know. According to this new CNN poll, 75% of Democrats don't want Joe Biden to run. Now, what's interesting here is when you combine this with the recent Gallup poll, the natural question is, okay, who would you like to see run? You know who the front runner is right now at 17%? Pete Buttigieg, Mr. Get the job, be on the job for 2 months, then take 6 months off for, wait for it, maternity leave. And the supply chain crisis is still plaguing America. Oh, but it gets better. The poll also asks, okay, you don't want to see him run. Who's your second choice? I feel sorry for the guy. I really do. When asked, who's your second choice? Joe Biden dropped to 10th. I didn't know they had that many people running. He drops to 10th. Meanwhile, and this is what's really going to be something to watch, Kamala Harris, the current sitting vice president. You want to take a guess where she came in? Only slightly better than Joe Biden. Forgive me, Joe came in 12th. Kamala comes in 10th. Now, here's what's going to be interesting to watch. The Democrats have painted themselves into a corner. They went just totally above and beyond in promoting to America the first woman of color to ever occupy the White House as vice president. So you made this big old to-do about, look at us, we put a black woman in the White House. And now none of y'all want her. Now, we already know if conservatives had done this, what's the big old 6-letter word that starts with an R and ends with a T that would have been splashed all across televisions on the entire planet? Look at those racist so-and-sos. They kicked her to the curb. Democrats are in a pickle now, y'all. You, in no uncertain terms, let everybody know how monumental it was to put this, oh, she's eminently qualified. She's this, she's that. She's going to do this, she's going to do that. None of which has happened, by the way. Does anybody yet know what the results of her trips to Central America to find out the root causes of our immigration problem? Does anybody yet know what the root causes are? That's rhetorical. We know you don't. She doesn't either, so you don't have to answer. And now, after all this to do about, look at us, we put the first black woman in the White House. Now you're going to kick us sorry behind to the curb, huh? In any other circles, that would be racist. But not for them. Not for them. All they care about is power. And they used you. Women, black Democrats, they used you to get Orange Man out. And look what they stuck us with. I was tempted to say, look what they stuck you with. But I'm an American, so yeah, he's my president and she's my vice president. As much as I hate to acknowledge it, the truth is what the truth is. They are my administration. As sorry a bunch of clowns as I've ever seen in my life, but they're mine. I gotta own them because I'm an American. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of finagling is gonna go on to kick Kamala Harris to the curb. Because rest assured, more than anything else, they crave power. And the way it stands right now, looking at the numbers, they are on the way out. Just like yours truly. Time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, maybe more so than any other in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Best news you gonna get all day, son. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Here's the deal. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other, and we'll see you soon. God bless.